don't understand Spanish? And how many of you don't understand English? Okay, so we're going to speak in English. Thank you very much for the International Action Center for a new invitation. The first time I was here, it was just a month after the coup. Many people said that what we were doing was paid by Zelaya and Hugo Chavez. And then we were supporting a dictator that was willing to break down democracy in Honduras. And our heroic military forces had overcome at the right time to stop Zelaya from selling away the country. Of course, we knew what was going on. We knew that we were talking about a coup. And almost 2 years after, I'm back here again, not representing a social movement that was trying to get their president or our president back. I'm not here to speak about the intentions of a people movement to become something strong. I'm here to talk about a reality. And now I'm one of the spokesmen of the most important popular movement in the history of Honduras. We have, in this moment, presence in all around the country. We have 1,800 delegates from each one of the municipalities of Honduras. We have the teacher movement represented, the worker unions, the feminist groups, the faith-based organizations. We have students. We have ambientalists. We have everyone is part of the resistance. The only ones that are not part of the resistance are, of course, the military forces, the police forces, the government, and what we call golpistas. There are those people that support the coup, that support the murder of people, and that are supporting right now the slaughter of hundreds of Honduran people this moment. They also said, a couple of months after I was here in New York, that the coup was over because they had an election and when Porfirio Lobo Sosa was elected as a democratic president. We were in the streets. There was nobody in the streets. But even though CNN said that it was the most important election in Latin America that year. So in 2010, Lobo got the control of the government. And we knew that nothing was going to change. Romeo Vázquez Velázquez, a known criminal in Honduras, that was the general of the military forces when the coup, and was accused in 1996 to be in a drug ban, is now the manager of the Telecommunication National Company in Honduras. We have the Electricity National Company that is completely militarized, and we have the Agricultural Minister that is completely militarized. We also have military presence in the embassy. If you want to give a letter, it doesn't matter if you're talking about the ambassador of France or the ambassador of Nicaragua, the one that received you in the door is a military officer. So for those of you, as myself, of this generation, that have read about military dictatorships and wonder what Chile looked in 73 or Argentina looked in 78, or what Honduras looked in 1969, you have to go to Tegucigalpa and then you can see a military dictatorship. And for some facts, in 2010, Honduras became the most dangerous country, the third most dangerous country in the world to be a journalist. It was just after Mexico and Pakistan, in which 14 journalists were killed that year, and in Honduras, 10 journalists were killed that year. The difference is that in Mexico there are 30 million people just in DF, and we have a population of 7 million people. And nobody said nothing about it. If one of those journalists would have died in another country, it would be around the world in seconds, because it's a threat against human rights, against civilian rights, against democracy and liberty. 10 died in Honduras. Nobody cares. Or at least nobody of the mainstream media cares. Another fact is that we had an average in 2010 of 16 women killed each week in Honduras. And now in 2011, in these 3 months that we have already passed, we have an average of 25 women killed each week in Honduras. The United States throws bombs in the name of women in the Middle East. They say that they're in Afghanistan to give women rights, and 25 women are killed each week in Honduras, and the United States supports the killers. We also have this last month of March, the most violent month of repression since the coup. Even when Micheletti was the first month, we never saw something like we're seeing right now. The same day, and with the same bombs bought from the same company, there were thousands of people in Egypt being bombed with tear gas bombs. And at the same time, in Tegucigalpa, there were hundreds of people bombed with tear gas bombs. In Egypt, it was a popular revolution. In Honduras, it was just 4 people that didn't understand that Zelaya was never going to come back. That's the message that we're talking about. We're talking about a resistance, a national resistance. We were in the streets until June of 2010 without interruption, when we got to the first anniversary of the coup. Then we got out of the streets, but not to lose the power of the resistance, but to build it in a new way. We had a goal, and our goal was our National Assembly that it would have to take place on February 26th of this year. So from July of 2010 to February of 2011, we have been working, making assemblies in each one of the municipalities of Honduras, in each one of the departments. We have, for the first time in the history of our country, a movement with a representation all around Honduras. At least we have one group organized in each part of our territory. And we have 1,300,000 signatures of citizens that are demanding a new constitution. And we have... So we had our assembly. It was a huge assembly. It was over 3,600 people as delegates in the assembly. We had it in Tegucigalpa. And we had like 3 big agreements. First of all, was not to recognize Lobo as a government, as a president, not to recognize the Supreme Court, and not to recognize the National Congress. In Honduras, we don't have a government. We are in a civilian disobedience that is growing up each day, and we're building a popular insurrection that doesn't need weapons because we are much more stronger than our pieces. In that sense, that was a big problem for Lobo, because he had tried months before to get people of the resistance to start fighting against each other, or against all of us, to destroy the resistance in that assembly. That assembly, of course, as all national assemblies, was a really strong process. But we got out united. And the second agreement was that we would participate in a electoral process. We would participate in elections, but we demand 3 things. First, the return of all the exiles, that are over 200 people, including Manuel Zelaya Rosales, the national coordinator of the Frente. We also want all of the golpistas, all the people that murder or give the order to murder innocent, unarmed Honduran people, that which only crime